What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a 01 E46 in the shop, and we're going to do a sunroof removal or a headliner removal on this car. So pretty much whenever you have a sunroof issue, whether it's the motor not working at all, or a lot of times really common in these cars, the cables in the actual sunroof assembly will break. So you'll hear the motor running, it'll go back, or it'll get stuck in a certain position or won't close all the way. Super common on these cars, 1999, 2005, 4-doors, Tourings, and Coupes will all have the same problem. So today I'm going to just go ahead and show you how to remove the headliner safely. Even if you're just doing a headliner repair, just a couple little quick pointers on getting that out. And then we're going to go right to the whole sunroof motor and cassette assembly, that whole piece that lines the whole roof of your car. We're going to go ahead and take that out slowly and just take a look at what it takes to replace that. Sometimes it's just a little bit easier just to replace that whole thing, and you can get them secondhand. We sell them all the time, just to swap that out, put a new one back in there, a new used one in there, and get some more life out of it, or at least get it out, take it apart, find out what piece you need to get to replace it. So enjoy. Okay, so I'm sitting in the car right now. I ended up taking the front seats out of this car. It's kind of easy to take them out. There's like a total of 4 16mm nuts and 4 16mm bolts that hold the front and one connector the front seats in. Once you take those out, you'll really have an easy time getting the headliner out of here with the doors open. It's not necessary because you can fold the seats all the way back and sneak it out, but a lot of times that headliner just gets bent up pretty good trying to maneuver it out of there. So for this sake, we got the front seats out of here. So another thing you have to do is pretty much remove all the A pillar trim, the B pillar trim, C pillar trim, the third brake light access cover there, and then there's an alarm cover up here too. We already took that off. And then there's a trim panel around the actual sunroof itself, or a trim piece like that here. You just put a little flathead behind there and peel that off. Also, the sun visors have to come out. The sunroof motor cover, we already have that off as well. Pop that out. Even the interior light, take that out. There's the other visor that has to come out, and then all these grab handles. Everything's held in by Phillips screws, and you just get a little flathead to pop all those ends off and take all that stuff off. Because what happens is all the B-pillar trim that actually holds the headliner up there, and there's a couple fasteners too. There's a fastener underneath the interior light there that holds it up. I believe there's one under the visor clips too on either side. And then there's another one right underneath the third brake light cover underneath here, holding that in as well. So we're gonna go ahead and just remove all that kind of stuff like that. You can probably pry the headliner back away. This is an example here that the B-pillar trim is out. But it tucks up in there really good, so it's better just to take that stuff out if you want to protect your headliner. Even going back in, if you redo your headliner, you don't have to worry about folding it or bending it or getting any cracks in it. So we're going to go ahead and get started, start peeling all these little pieces away. Okay, a couple things I wanted to point out real quick after I got that visor out. So there is one of those little retainers I was talking about. And I would wait till last. Once you have everything off, the B-pillar trim, the visors, the handles off, then get to those last. And then also underneath the interior light, the map light, there's that Phillips screw right there as well. I'll show you that. Also, another good little trick is to peel your weather stripping back around the doors where the headliner is too. And then just one more little thing here on the A pillar. There are 3 Torx 20s behind this little trim piece in there. So what's going to probably happen as you peel it out, it's going to probably break. It's a really common thing with these. So I do know that they sell these new, or if you can get them secondhand that are not broken, but usually the fabric falls off of them. And probably one of the reasons why you're taking this apart and watching this video is because this stuff's all falling apart and you want to replace it or recover it. So, but make sure you pull that out and get those 3 Torx 20s that are behind there on the A-pillar. Okay, now we're going to remove the lower B-pillar trim. This has to be removed in order to slide the upper A-pillar trim out. So I'm just going to point out a couple little things. So you have a piece of sill trim here and another one here. And you want to kind of get underneath here with a screwdriver or a pry tool and pop these up to get them kind of out of the way. And then there is a fastener underneath the back sill trim and the rear door as well. This was kind of just sitting here, so we're gonna move that out of the way. And then there's just 2 push clips down here holding this piece in, and then the weather strip is also kind of holding it in on either sides. So don't be afraid to, you know, get a flathead behind there or a pry tool and just peel that out just to give you some extra room to work with here. So we're gonna just go ahead and get behind this. And once you pop that out, you want to pull this thing straight down. And I'll show you why. On the back here are 2 clips that slide up into the upper part of the B-pillar here. Okay, now we're just going to go behind here and just kind of pull out this weather strip a little bit. It's got to come down anyway for the headliner. Pull that out. And you're gonna see in here, there's 2 black fasteners. Just go in here with a pair of needle nose pliers, pull those out, get underneath of it, and pry out. And then the same thing as the lower B-pillar trim, you wanna go straight down with it. Slide it completely down like that. And you can see there's these fasteners that lock in to here and here. So make sure upper B-pillar and lower B-pillar, slide them down, because you pull them out like this, they're gonna break. It's really common. Okay, now I'm just gonna show you that we can pull these little covers off. And then you'll see the 2 Phillips head screws holding that in there. And then with the C-pillar trim, you gotta kind of be gentle with these, they can break. You wanna get behind here. This one was already kind of hanging off. So you wanna get behind there and pop them down. You can see the 2 clips that hold those in there. So make sure you get in there close to where it touches the actual car and pop those out. And then you're gonna just pull those forward like that. You can actually just hang, if you're not taking them out, you can just kind of hang them like that if you want, just so it clears and gives you room to pull the headliner out. Also too, I wanted to show you that one other fastener right there underneath the 3rd brake light access cover. And you went ahead and pull that out, but I would wait till you have everything out before you do that. Okay, so this is the final look with all the trim hanging down. The B-pillars are gone, the C-pillars are hanging down. The trim around the sunroof is gone, visors are off, A-pillars are off. So the only thing that's holding this in right now is that clip there in the front under the visor and the one behind the 3rd brake light cover. So we're gonna go ahead and undo those, and we're just gonna let this whole thing just kind of fall flat. Now that there's no seats in here, we'll be able to get it down and then just kind of turn it a little bit and slide it right out one of the doors here. So that's what that'll look like. All the weather stripping is hanging down. They're all away from the doors. So it's really kind of easy now just to pull this out. right, so now I actually have it sitting down. Once you start from the front and lower it down, you actually kind of push it back a little bit because it does hook on in the back of the roof there. So now we have it sitting there. We're just going to pull this whole thing down. Make sure you disconnect the visor lights too. It's one on each side. And there she is. All right, so there's the complete headliner out. As you can see, it is sagging, but it's all complete. It's not folded in half or broken. That's why taking those front seats out gives you so much room, and you can just kind of wiggle it right out the rear door, or, you know, whatever door's opening where you can get a straight shot without having to bend it. Once you start bending it, it folds over, and then the fabric won't lay on there right. So that's probably the easiest way to do that, is take that extra little bit of time, pull the weather seals down, all the trim out, take the front door panels out. Especially when you're going back in, if you just get done recovering this thing and you get it back in and you bend it in half or mess it up, it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. So now we're going to go inside, take a look at the sunroof, figure out what we got to do next. All right, so starting in the front here, there's a sunroof drain here. There's one on all four corners. So you just kind of pull this little thing out here. And then there you can see where it goes and runs down the car to drain out. And then there's going to be a series of 10mm bolts around the whole top of this thing. And here's another drain in the back corner there. The other one here. More 10mm bolts holding that in, and then getting right to our other front drain. So this thing's pretty heavy, so you're going to want to support this or have somebody with you. What we typically do, if it's just one person here, we'll leave like 2 bolts in the front, 1 in like the back corner, and we'll just slowly start taking them out. And you literally got to get underneath this thing with your head on it and slowly bring it down and sit it down. So we're going to go ahead and remove these and get started. Okay, so what I did was I took a piece of wood in here and I kind of wedged this in between the floor and the center of the sunroof here, just in case something happens, a piece of the plastic of the sunroof breaks off or something like that. It'll be in there sturdy. So we're gonna go ahead and remove all the 10mm bolts, and then I'm gonna get underneath this thing, remove the wood, and then just lower the whole thing down. There you go. So now I'm just going to step out, pull right out of the back door. And there is the whole sunroof assembly. Okay, so I just want to show you guys real quick. So this is where the sunroof motor mounts up here, and there's these 3 mounting bolts here. That inside there is where the motor drive moves these little worm gears back and forth, and there's a series of cables that go inside these channels here, and that's what opens and shuts the sunroof assembly there. All right, so that pretty much wraps up today's video. So if you go down that road and you want to take out the headliner and remove the whole sunroof assembly, that may be like the slowest way to do it, but it's probably the easiest in the long run. Take the front seats out, peel back every one of those pieces of trim and seals and all that kind of stuff like that. But when you do that little bit of extra work, you don't have to worry about messing up that headliner going back in. So if you enjoyed the video, press like and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.